Good evening, everyone. My name is Siad, and I am so featuring Brian Ellis. Brian, thank you for joining us.
Hello, so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm so excited for you to be involved with the collective and the work that we do in providing artists with opportunities to be themselves and to have community with each other. Brian, I would love it if you could tell us a little bit about yourself. You say that you're a web-based creative. What does that mean?
Absolutely. So to me, it means making music that anyone can interact with. So it's making music that is accessible, that other people can, and that audience members can play along with the performers, and making music that is fun and engaging and really accessible.
Yeah, awesome. I know you've done several Zoom web-based projects, especially over the past year, and I know I've been able to catch some of those with our mutual collective memberships with Density 512. So it's been a lot of fun to watch those. So it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
I noticed that tonight you'll be playing a lot of arrangements, so pieces not originally written for guitar or at least solo guitar. And could you share, why you've made that decision and why you like playing arrangements? Because I mean, most guitarists do, but your arrangements are perhaps a bit different than the ones we might be used to.
Absolutely. So the guitar at large has a very long history of stealing other people's repertoire to play on our own, and so that is kind of a long-standing tradition. One of the things that I love most about classical music is the minimalist repertoire from the 70s and 80s. I think it's really powerful music. It's very expressive, and it's one of my longtime passions in this world. Um, the pieces that I'll be playing tonight are kind of continuations of a project that I started in my last year in college, where my senior recital was minimalism in the guitar, and it was entirely music. Philip Glass, Arvo Pärt, Tom Johnson, all of the really big names from the 70s, and you know at the time I was very proud that it was a bunch of living composers, because that was pretty exciting. And now, as I'm looking back on it, I'm like, this was a perhaps not the most diverse crowd, or not the most interesting. There's a lot of voices that I didn't particularly highlight there, and so this is some more really great music that I'm excited to share with y'all, that I probably should have done the first time around. And so these are some guitar ensemble works that I've arranged. The first is Change by Meredith Monk, and the second that you'll be hearing is Joy Boy by Julius Eastman. Alrighty, so the next piece I am really excited to share with y'all is a world premiere from Samara Rice. The piece is called In Any Random Shape or Form. Samara, could you tell us a little bit about the title and unpack it for us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Brian. So, this next piece, I'm so excited for Brian's performance of it and premiering of In Any Random Shape or Form. So, when Brian was like, hey, people, write me a guitar piece, include electronics in it, I started thinking about guitar and electronics and just kind of thought about it, and shapes popped into my mind, the shapes of guitar chords, the shapes that are present with sound waves and how those can be built into a max patch. And as I was thinking about how those related, and I think Brian, I think you had requested maybe text somewhere in there or speaking. So I was like, shapes, and I went online and I just found an awesome public domain dictionary and started looking up different words that related to these shapes. So this piece, Brian will be playing chords based on a shape like a triangle, a square, or a circle. And he'll be playing those on the guitar. And then the max patch will actually use a vocoder to process his vocals. And he'll be speaking, saying text about one of these shapes. You'll learn a lot of unique definitions for some of these words that are pretty fun. And the patch actually processes his vocals and his guitar together with a vocoder and a guitar patch. And you can keep an eye out on his hands and kind of see if you can see these shapes. Some of them are obvious when he's playing them. You can see like the triangle, and other ones maybe not so much, but it's kind of fun to check that out.
Awesome, yeah, thanks so much. All right, so this is In Any Random Shape or Form.
Right. A figure composed of 3 lines, which meet 2 by 2. 3 points called the vertices of the triangle, especially a rectilinear figure of this description. Triangle, a musical instrument of percussion made of a rod of polished steel bent into the form of a triangle and open at one of its ends. Circle, a series ending where it ends and perpetually repeated. Square, even, leaving no balance, as to make the count square, to be square with the one. Triangle, any 3-cornered or 3-sided figure, body, or arrangement, anything having a triangular form or bounded 3-sided space. Square, absolute, positive, unequivocal, as a square refusal, a square contradiction, a square issue. A plane figure whose peripheral is everywhere equally distant from a point within the center. The periphery of such a figure is circumference. Circle, human circle. Encompass, surround. Circle, something conceived as analogous to a circle, specifically a number of persons intimately related to a central interest, person, or event. Square, having 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. Quadrant, rectangular and equilateral. As a square room, a square figure. Triangle, a large 3-sided cell, found in the wings of many dragon forms. Circle, to move around, revolve around, circle. Square, having a shape broad as compared with height, a rectilinear arrangement rather than curved outlines, as a man square frame. Square, solid, substantial, satisfying. Triangle, 3-corner, 3-angled triangle.
Okay, Brian, wow, those were really, really awesome. Thanks for sharing those. I hear that next we're going to hear from your duo.
Yes, absolutely. So for the next little bit, you'll be hearing some saxophone music in addition to guitar. That music is coming from my duo partner, Jonathan Hostadel. For the past over a year, we've been separated from each other. I've been living in New York. He's been living in California. And we've been still continuing to make music together. This piece that you're about to hear, to make a short story long, is a piece that really embraces the fact that we are, in separate spaces, in separate worlds, and still able to make music together and make interesting sound worlds and soundscapes with each other's music. And so I'm really excited to share this piece with y'all. Hope you enjoy.
So thanks so much, Brian. One of the things that I really have come to appreciate about you and our friendship, but of course your work, is that you are really interested in being, a commissioner, someone who works with other composers, although you are a composer yourself. And you put on several calls for scores projects. You tell people, hey, send me music and I will play it. And I know that, you're going to do that for us today. What was the inspiration behind those projects, and what are the future goals for some of those projects?
Absolutely. So the goal for all of the call for scores that I've been running for classical guitar is all to make more music that involves electronics with the classical guitar. So there's not a lot. there's not a ton of music out there that involves classical guitar and live electronics, and the music that is out there is oftentimes pretty inaccessible, has very high requires the performer to have a very high level of knowledge of how to run electronics in order to play the piece. So all of the pieces that I have been searching for in my calls for scores are all music that is approachable. It either has some of them have very easy electronics, like you just play an MP3 file and you play along to it. Some of them have very easy to code electronics. So, a very simple delay line is, all you need to make the piece work. But all of them are really great music. And so that's the idea, is like, let's make some approachable music for classical guitar and electronics that, can really help bring some of this into the broader world. So that's been the project that I've been working on. And I'm excited to share it with y'all here.
Yeah, I really admire that mission and that goal. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited to share it with y'all. Alrighty, so for the last piece on the program, I'm really excited to share another world premiere. This one is by Zachary James Ritter. Working with him was a really incredible experience. And Zach, I was curious if you wanted to share a little bit more about your artistic process when it comes to collaborating with composers.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the heart of my practice, and the things that make me feel most like I'm doing the things that are really rewarding and that I feel that people resonate with the most are collaborations, where I get to invite my performers into the work as much as they are comfortable doing it. And with someone like you, who is a composer yourself, that can be quite a lot, such that it is really more of a loose structure as opposed to a highly notated piece. And it's such a great privilege to be able to create a piece like that where it's really us finding these sounds that we both really love together and then figuring out a way that they can kind of loosely go together and then just letting you take it from there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for an incredible piece. And without further ado, here is Clouds and Wavelets.
Thank you so much, Brian, for all of your wonderful music, your talents, sharing your artistry, your music as a composer, and seeing you perform is always a lot of fun too. So a little birdie tells me that you have something coming up tomorrow as well.
Yes, yes. Well, first off, thank you so much. It means a lot to me to be able to share this music with you and to be given the opportunity to have, this stage to stand on and to share, this music. It's really incredible to have such an amazing community here. Yes, the birdie was right. There is a show happening tomorrow. Jordan Walsh will be playing a show with Density 512. When I mentioned earlier about the call for scores that I ran to make more accessible music for classical guitar and electronics, Jordan ran a very similar model that I might or might not have copied wholesale, where he ran a call for scores for percussion and electronics with a very similar end goal of making a more approachable percussion repertoire. And so a piece I wrote for that, My Battery is Low and It Is Getting Dark, which is about the Mars rover, is going to be played tomorrow evening with Density 512. So if y'all are free, link for that is being dropped in the chat right now. And y'all should come if you're able to. Thank y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you all again so much for coming. Be sure to keep up with us on social media. We have a show coming up in February and lots of other things between now and then and after that as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of y'all's evening.